My name is Mia. I am 26 years old, and my life was simple before I met Daniel. I worked in a small bakery in my town. I woke up early every day, baked bread, made coffee, and served customers with a smile. My life was quiet, but my heart was always waiting for something more. I did not know what I was waiting for until the day he walked into the shop. It was a cold morning in late November. The sky was gray and the air smelled like rain. I was wiping the counter when the door opened. A tall man walked in. His hair was a little messy from the wind, and he had a warm smile. He looked tired but kind. When he reached the counter, he said, "Good morning. Can I have a coffee, please?" His voice was soft. It made my heart feel warm. "Of course," I said. My hands were shaking a little, and I hoped he did not see. He waited at the side while I made his coffee. When I gave it to him, he smiled again. "Thank you. What's your name?" "Mia," I said. "Mia," he repeated, like he wanted to remember it. "Nice to meet you. I'm Daniel." After that day, Daniel came to the bakery every morning. Sometimes he bought coffee. Sometimes he bought bread or a small cake. Sometimes he did not buy anything special. He just stood there and talked to me for a few minutes. Every day, I waited for him. When the door opened, my heart jumped. And when it wasn't him, I felt a little empty. I didn't tell anyone, but I started waking up earlier every morning. I wanted to look nice when he came. I brushed my hair, used a little lip gloss, and wore the dress I thought looked the best. I never did this before. I didn't do it for myself. I did it for him. Daniel told me he worked at a small office near the bakery. He lived alone, and his parents lived in another city. He liked reading books and walking in the park. He talked about his dreams, his past, and his daily life. He shared many things with me, but he never talked about one thing: love. One morning when he came to the bakery, he held his phone in his hand. He looked excited. "Mia, guess what?" he said. "What?" I asked. My heart beat fast. "I applied for a higher position in my company. Today they said they want to interview me for it." "That's great," I said, smiling. "You deserve it." He looked happy, and for a moment I imagined a future where he and I were more than friends. I imagined walking with him, laughing with him, sitting beside him at the park, and maybe one day holding his hand. But I kept all of those dreams inside my heart. One day, Daniel came into the shop earlier than usual. His face looked tense. He didn't smile. He didn't say, "Good morning." He just walked to the counter and said, "Mia, can I ask you something?" My stomach felt tight. "Yes," I said. "Do you know a good place to have dinner? I want to take someone out tonight." My heart stopped for a moment. "Someone?" I repeated. "Yes," he said. "Her name is Lily. She works at the same office as me. I think I like her. I'm not sure, but I want to try. I felt like the floor under me moved. I tried to smile, but it hurt. Oh, that's nice. There's a good restaurant near the river. Thank you, he said. He seemed relieved. I hope she likes me. I opened my mouth to say something, but nothing came out. My throat felt dry. After he left, I stood behind the counter for a long time. A few customers came in, but I hardly remembered serving them. My chest felt heavy, like something inside me broke quietly. That evening, when the bakery closed, I walked home slowly. The sky was dark and the streetlights were soft. I looked at my reflection in every shop window. I saw a simple girl with tired eyes. No makeup, no fancy clothes, no confidence. I thought, of course he doesn't love me. Why would he? When I got home, I sat on my bed and cried. I held my pillow close and let the tears fall. I cried because I liked him. I cried because he didn't see me that way. I cried because I hoped for something that was never real. But the next morning, Daniel came into the bakery again. He looked happy. Mia, the dinner went well, he said. She said yes to seeing me again. I felt another sharp pain in my chest, but I forced a smile. That's nice. He talked about Lily for a long time. He told me she was gentle, kind, smart, and beautiful. He said she made him feel comfortable. Every word he said was like a soft cut to my heart. Days passed. Daniel started coming to the bakery less often. Sometimes he didn't come at all. Sometimes he came, but he talked less. He didn't look at me the way he used to. He didn't stay long. He didn't ask how I was. One day he walked in with his phone in his hand, smiling at a message. Lily said she wants to meet tonight, he said proudly. I nodded. That's great. But inside, I felt nothing but sadness. One evening, after a long day at work, I went for a walk near the river. The sky was pink and purple. I needed fresh air. I needed space to breathe. I walked slowly, thinking about my life, my dreams, and my quiet pain. Then I saw them, Daniel and Lily. They were sitting on a bench near the water. They were talking and laughing. At one moment, Daniel looked at her the way I always hoped he would look at me. Lily touched his arm, and he smiled warmly. I froze. For a moment, I couldn't move. My heart hurt so deeply that I felt sick. I didn't want them to see me, so I turned around quickly and walked away. Tears filled my eyes, but I didn't wipe them. I let them fall. I walked faster and faster until I reached home. When I closed the door, I fell onto my bed and cried harder than before. I cried until my eyes hurt. I cried until my chest felt tight. I cried because this time I saw the truth with my own eyes. He loved someone else, and I was just someone he talked to when he was bored or lonely. I wanted to stop loving him, but it wasn't easy. Feelings don't disappear in one day. They stay. They hurt. They stay even when they shouldn't. But I also knew something else. I had to let go. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But one day, I would. Before I continue rest of the story, please like, subscribe, share, and tell me where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now let's continue. The morning after I saw Daniel with Lily, I woke up with heavy eyes. My face felt swollen from all the crying. I sat at the edge of my bed and looked at my hands. They were shaking a little. I took a deep breath and told myself, I need to be strong today. But my heart still felt weak. When I reached the bakery, I tried to smile at the customers. I tried to act normal, but everything reminded me of him. The way he laughed, the way he said my name, the way he walked in every morning like the sun. But now, the sun felt far away. I told myself not to think about him. I told myself to focus on work. But every time the door opened, my heart jumped before my mind reminded me, it is not him. Around noon, my friend Clara came into the bakery. She worked at the flower shop down the street. She was cheerful and always knew when something was wrong. Mia, she said, looking at me carefully. Your face. Are you okay? I forced a small smile. Just tired. She stepped closer. No. This is not tired. What happened? And then, without meaning to, my eyes filled with tears. I looked down at the counter. Mia. Clara's voice softened. Did something hurt you? I nodded slowly. It's Daniel. Her face changed. She understood. I had told her a little about him before. Not everything. Just enough. What happened? She asked gently. I took a breath. He likes someone else. I saw them together last night, at the river. Clara closed her eyes for a moment, like she felt my pain too. Oh, Mia. I wiped my eyes quickly. It's stupid. He never promised me anything. He never said he liked me. But I hoped. I hoped so much. Clara touched my hand lightly. Loving someone is not stupid, but loving the wrong person hurts. Her words made my throat tight. If you want, we can go out tonight, she said. We can talk. Or we don't talk. We can just sit somewhere quiet. I nodded. Thank you. Even though my heart was hurting, I felt grateful I had her. When my shift ended, I walked home slowly. The sky was cloudy and the wind was cold. I rubbed my arms as I walked, but the cold I felt was not from the weather. When I reached home, I took off my shoes and sat on the floor. I felt empty. I wanted to stop thinking. I wanted to sleep and wake up in a world where I didn't care. But the truth sat with me like a shadow. I loved someone who didn't love me back. A few days passed, and Daniel didn't come to the bakery. Every day felt long. Every morning felt wrong. Then one morning, he suddenly walked in. He looked tired, but happy. His eyes were warm. "Mia," he said with a small smile. "I haven't seen you in days." I swallowed. "Yes, it's been busy." He didn't seem to notice the sadness in my voice. "I wanted to tell you something," he said. "Lily and I, we are official now. We're together." My heart broke again. Even though I already knew, hearing it out loud hurt in a different way. "That's good," I said quietly. He looked around the bakery and then back at me. "Mia, you're one of my closest friends. I hope this doesn't change anything between us." "Friends?" The word felt sharp. I nodded. "Of course not." But inside, everything changed. After he left, I went into the back room and held the counter tightly. I felt like crying again, but I was tired of tears. I took a deep breath and whispered to myself, "You need to stop waiting for something that will never happen." That evening, I met Clara at a small cafe near her shop. It was quiet and warm inside. She brought hot chocolate, and we sat at a small table near the window. "Did you talk to him?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "And?" "He said he's dating her." Clara closed her eyes, like she felt my pain again. "I am tired, Clara," I whispered. "I don't want to cry anymore. I don't want to think about him anymore. But I don't know how to stop." Clara held my hand. "You don't stop in one day. You stop little by little. You stop when your heart gets tired of hurting. And one day, you wake up, and the pain is softer." Her words were gentle. Soft. True. We sat there for a long time without talking. Sometimes silence heals more than words. Weeks passed. Daniel came to the bakery less and less. But when he came, he always talked about Lily. "She likes this place. She said this yesterday. She made me laugh today." Every time he said her name, a little piece of my heart broke again. I wanted to be happy for him, but it was hard. One morning, Daniel came in with a big smile. "Mia, she invited me to meet her parents. Isn't that nice?" "Yes," I said quietly. "Very nice." But after he left, I walked into the back room and held my face in my hands. I knew then that I needed to do something. I needed to protect myself. I needed to let go. I couldn't stay in the bakery forever waiting for him. I couldn't be close to him if every moment hurt. That evening, I sat on my bed and made a decision. I would quit my job. Not because I hated the bakery, not because I wanted to run away, but because I needed space. I needed a fresh start. I needed a place where Daniel did not walk through the door every morning. The next day, I told my boss, Mrs. Anderson. She looked surprised. Mia, you are one of my best workers. Why do you want to leave? I lowered my head. I just need a change. She looked at me softly, like she could see the truth even if I didn't say it. Sometimes change is good. I nodded. I will miss you, she said. I will miss you too. Leaving felt scary, but it also felt necessary. On my last day at the bakery, I cleaned the counter slowly. I ran my hand across the wooden surface where Daniel once rested his coffee, where he once smiled at me, where I once hoped he would choose me. When Daniel came in that day and saw me cleaning, he asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm leaving," I said. "Today is my last day here." He looked shocked. Leaving? Why? Did something happen? I shook my head. No, I just need to do something different. He was silent for a moment. "I'll miss seeing you here," he finally said. I smiled sadly. "I'll miss seeing you too." But we both knew it was time. After he left, I walked to the back and took a deep breath. Then I stepped outside the bakery one last time. I looked at the place where so many memories began and where my heart quietly broke. Then I walked away, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a small, soft feeling inside me. Not joy, not excitement, not hope, but something quieter, strength. After I left the bakery, my days felt strange and empty. For 2 years, my mornings always started the same way. Warm bread, the smell of coffee, and Daniel walking through the door with a soft smile. Now the bakery was behind me, and I didn't know what my days would look like. The first morning at home, I woke up early as usual. My body was used to the routine. But when I looked at the clock and realized I didn't need to hurry, I felt lost. I sat by the window, wrapped in a blanket, watching the street outside come to life. People walked by, cars passed, birds sang. It was a new day, but I didn't feel new yet. Around noon, Clara came knocking on my door. "Mia, how are you?" she asked as she stepped inside. She had a small bag of pastries with her. "I don't know," I said honestly. "Everything feels different." "That's normal," she said. "Big changes always feel strange at first." We sat at my kitchen table. She gave me a warm croissant and a cup of tea. For the first time in days, I felt comfort. "You did the right thing," Clara said. "You needed space from him." I nodded. "I know, but I still miss him." She touched my arm gently. "Missing someone doesn't mean you need them." Her words stayed with me. A few days later, I went to the park for a walk. The trees were turning green and the air smelled fresh. I walked slowly along the path, trying to breathe deeply. I wanted to feel better. I wanted the pain to leave my chest. As I walked, I saw an old man sitting on a bench feeding birds. He looked peaceful. I sat on a bench nearby and watched the birds fly around him. After a moment, he looked at me and smiled. "You look sad, young lady," he said kindly. I felt shy, but nodded. "A little." "Pain is a visitor," he said, throwing crumbs on the ground. "It comes, it stays for a while, but it never stays forever." I looked at him. He had gentle eyes. "I loved someone," I whispered. "But he didn't love me." He nodded slowly. "That happens to many hearts. Loving someone is never wrong, but holding on to someone who doesn't choose you, that is where the hurt grows." His words were simple, but they touched something deep in me. "I guess I hoped too much," I said. He shook his head. "Hope is beautiful, but sometimes we must hope for ourselves, not for someone else." I felt a tear slide down my cheek. I wiped it quickly. "Thank you," I said. He smiled. "You will heal. Trust yourself." When I left the park, I felt lighter, not healed, but understood. 2 weeks passed. I applied for new jobs. I helped Clara in the flower shop sometimes. I took walks every morning. I cooked simple meals. I tried to build a life that was mine, not tied to a person who never chose me. Then one morning, something unexpected happened. Daniel called. I stared at my phone when I saw his name. My heart jumped, just like it always did. But this time, I didn't smile. I hesitated before answering. "Hello?" "Mia," he said softly. "I haven't seen you in a while. Are you okay?" "I'm fine," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I miss talking to you," he said. Those words made my chest tighten. I sat down on my bed. "Daniel, you have Lily now," I said gently. "Yes, but what?" I interrupted softly. "You chose her, and that's okay. But you can't keep me in your life the same way. It hurts." There was silence on the phone. "I never wanted to hurt you," he said. "I know," I whispered. "But you did. Not because you meant to, but because I loved you." Saying those words out loud made my voice break. Daniel stayed quiet. "Mia, I never knew." "I know," I said. "I never told you." Another pause. "I'm sorry," he whispered. His apology was soft, but it didn't fix anything. It didn't change the truth. "I need to move forward," I said. "I need to learn how to live without waiting for you, Mia." "Goodbye, Daniel." I ended the call. My hands shook when I put my phone down, but my heart felt stronger. For the first time, I had chosen myself. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to English Medium Stories. Stay with us for more classic stories in easy English.